Hi, welcome to myGPcloud. I'm Steve and I want to spend a little time with you to talk about customers. We're going to be looking at adding customers, editing customers, and looking at customers in inquiry windows and reports. To add customers, we'll be going to the customer maintenance screen. You can navigate there by going to Cards, Sales, and Customer. This brings up the customer maintenance screen. In this screen, I can edit existing clients or add new ones. Now you can see on my screen the required field is customer ID. On this screen there's only one required field. The customer ID, you'll probably want to come up with a naming convention to assign customer IDs. Typically I use the first few letters of the customer's name and then 2 or 3 numbers at the end to help handle duplicates. So let me enter a customer ID here. And I'll enter the customer's name. And what you want to do is assign this to a class ID. You've probably set up one or more already, so just do the looking glass here, select a customer class, and then go to the address. In customers and vendors, you can have as many address IDs assigned to a specific customer or vendor that you want. An address ID is basically just a name for that particular address. So I might have an address like headquarters. I can add that here and then enter the name for that particular address. Because the customer ID is the only required field on the screen, I can enter as much or as little additional information that I want to. Because I assign this to a class ID, a lot of this information defaulted in from that class ID. For example, the shipping method did, the tax schedule did, and the payment terms. If I want to change the payment terms, I can just look up a new payment term here. These are standard ones that were entered with your system. I could select another one if I wanted to. Select that. And when I save it, it's going to save it as part of this new customer. And there are other tabs at the bottom. You can see I've got accounts, addresses, options, email, and project. The accounts button is going to show me all the GL accounts that will be used when this customer is using a transaction. Now these particular account numbers defaulted in because I assigned this new customer to a class ID. If I go to the options button, this brings up more information about this particular customer. Again, a lot of this information was defaulted in because I assigned it to a class ID. If I want to change it, I can. You've got a credit limit here. Here's the basic credit limit. If I click on this expansion arrow, this gives me more information and more flexibility in how I assign those credit limits to this particular customer. If you're using project accounting, you want to go into this project button here and at least open it up. If you want to add some additional information in here, you can. But you'll at least want to open it up. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to save my new customer. You'll notice the buttons down at the bottom here. They're browsing buttons, and I can browse to the beginning of the file throughout my whole file. And you'll see this option in a lot of the transaction screens and a lot of the master file screens within Dynamics GP. Let's take a look at some of the inquiry ability within Dynamics GP related specifically to customers. If I go to Inquiry, Sales, and then Transactions by Customer, this is going to bring up a screen that will allow me to look at all transactions for a particular customer. Let's look at this customer here. Now in Dynamics GP, there's basically 3 buckets of information. There's work, there's open, and there's history. In accounts receivable, everything that's in work represents all the transactions that are in a batch but have not yet been posted to the open receivables. Open receivables includes all transactions that have been posted but not yet paid or applied to a credit memo. And then history are all posted transactions that have been cleared out of receivables. Let's take a look at open receivables. I can unclick Work in History and then hit Redisplay. This is going to show me everything in Open Receivables. I can select a particular invoice and then drill down into that by clicking on the document number. This is going to show me an inquiry view of this particular document. I can look at all the user-defined fields, any holds, any distributions, and I get the complete line detail right here. Another inquiry screen I like a lot is a payment summary screen. If I go to Inquiry, Sales, and then Payment Summary, this will show me all statistics about this particular client. So let's look up this customer here. What I really like is I've got statistics about this customer and the business I've done with him over the past several years. I can also have a nice little aging down here on the left hand side. I can select my overdue balance and go directly to those items causing that account to be overdue. So once you set up your customer, you start processing transactions against that customer, you can use these two inquiry screens to get a lot of detail and really see information about that particular customer. This has been a quick look at how to add and edit customers and also how to do inquiry on customers. For more information, join us on Twitter at twitter.com/myGPcloud.